guys, and welcome. It's episode number 10 of Holy Cow. I'm Chase, and with me tonight is Lacey. How are you, Lacey?
I'm alive. We're good.
It's been a few weeks. We took a vacation this last week, and Greg enjoyed vacation so much being retired that he took a second week, and now he is off to Kansas City. He's going to watch the Tigers for 2 games and then stop off in the trash land known as St. Louis. Check out a Cardinals and Marlins game. So good for you, bud. Let us know how it is the next week. This is how committed he is, Lacey. I told him to take the day off.
Oh.
He was going to try and watch the game and call in and do Holy Cow.
No.
And
No, I'm the type of person I'm like, hey, by the way, not going to make it. Like 10 minutes before.
Yes. And she's not lying about that.
No, I'm sorry.
But it's going to be a fun hour. It might even be a short show because the Cubs are still hanging around the top spot of the NL Central.
Yes.
For the time being right now, as we're recording the show, they are tied in the first place for the NL Central spot along with the Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee Brewers have kind of made a climb. It's been 2 weeks since the shows aired, so we will pretty much cover the entire road trip and coming back home, which is really cool because that opened up 100% capacity at Wrigley Field, which I know you've got a lot of the fun stuff that happened.
Yes.
They coined it Opening Day 2.0, and it seems like that's kind of the thing going on right now. Everything is opening back up. I even was reading earlier where Wimbledon is doing 50% the first week, 100% the second week. It's crazy, but we'll go ahead and get right into the show. We left off last week. We were covering the first game of the trip home for San Diego. San Diego Padres came and visited the Cubs at Wrigley, and they were able to sweep that series. They only had one game that got close. It was 1 run. The other 2, they won by 5. And that was a series that a lot of people thought this could be the real test to see if this hot streak Cubs was really going to last around. They were able to do it. Bullpen, starting pitching, lights out. Like I was saying, there's only one game was a 1-run game. It was 4-3. The other 2, they won by 5. And that ended up the first little homestand for the month of June. Wasn't much of anything but 2 days. And then they were off to the West Coast to see the Giants. Not a good day, Lacey. Not a good 4 days.
No. Since you mentioned that they're currently playing and we're missing it because we're trying to bring you guys information.
Yes.
So I have DraftKings odds on this 4-game set. DraftKings Cubs are coming into the 4-game series with odds at a -113, so 113, -113 as the favorite. But then by 4:30 p.m. Eastern time today, it was back to New York with a -120. So people are divided.
Well, so far it's been a good game. These are 2 teams that you should definitely see in some type of divisional playoff games. They're top of the division. I know when they came to Wrigley, it was a totally different story. That was kind of when it was like, oh, well, maybe they're going to be like the spoiler team this year because they were just doing piss poor against teams that are below 500, and they won. I believe they swept the series, so now it's back out for 4 games.
Yep, it's 4 games, unfortunately. How do you feel about 4-game series?
Well, it adds up because it's like they have Cleveland coming up, and it's a 4-game, so they are a little bit longer. I like how they did with Cleveland, but Cleveland's an AL team, so they went 4 games with them, where you do the 2-2 split up. I like that. They had the 4-game with the San Francisco Giants. Luckily, they did that, or else they would have been swept.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one good thing that's happening right now. I mean, amongst a whole bunch of other things for the Cubs, is that they haven't been swept in a series.
Right. In fact, they're coming into this 4-game set here with 5 in a row wins under their belt, while the Mets they're just 5 of 7. So that's good for us.
Right. And right now, while we're filming this, Milwaukee is losing. So this game may not even – yes. So if the Cubs happen to lose the Mets game, which we'll know when we air this at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, which is Tuesday, there's a good possibility that this loss won't even really affect the standings. So that's always a good plus is when the team, especially when you're right there at that point. St. Louis there when we did the last episode before the vacation was right there neck and neck. Everything was happening. And then all of a sudden the Cardinals just fell out of nowhere, getting swept later on. We'll talk about that coming up. Mm-hmm. But yes, the Cubs lost their first series out west against San Francisco. This stretch of games has been I think would be very difficult. You finish up a game with San Diego, you fly out to the West Coast, you don't get the day off like you normally do, you don't get a travel day, you just get an early start game, then you're out, then you have your road trip start. And they lost the first 3 games in San Francisco. The Cubs were able to pull out that Sunday game by a run. That's the series I said I could see them getting swept. I didn't see them winning because of how dominant the Giants have been in the NL West as of late, and they are continuing to dominate. Pitching really struggled, and there wasn't a ton of offense. Out of the 4 games, they only had 14 runs during that stretch. Not the 14 runs that you're seeing in a 3-game set, not the 11 runs you're seeing in some games. It was very, very low scoring. Offense or pitching really wasn't there in San Francisco.
No, don't even get me started on the pitching.
And that was the thing was even a lot of the run, there was never anything that happened. It was a lot of the starting pitching was really where the struggle was in the deal. I mean, right now, Andrew Chafin out of the last 20 games has a .47 ERA. He's below a 1. And that's how most of the bullpen is staying. It was that starting pitching that the Giants really just kind of attacked and got right on the board, and their pitching was dominant. They held the Cubs to very few runs. There was one game that it looked like they may have it. I believe it was the second game where they put 5 on the board. That was the best offensive performance that they had during that Giants game. Yeah, they won the game by 1 run. It was 4-3. Got a little dicey there towards the end with it. But they were able to hold on for the win.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Beat Pirates 5-2 on Sunday too.
Yeah. You know where you'll always win though?
Where?
Monkey Knife Fight. Monkey Knife Fight is the greatest and best daily fantasy sports gaming website for the casual sports fan that is simple, fun, and easy to play. Even Lacey's got it down. Users determine which superstar is competing in days. Professional sporting events will record more or less than the contest line provided. Monkey Knife Fight's daily fantasy prop games play similar to the salary cap-based DFS games, but without the algorithms, lineups, and most importantly, sharks. There are several contests to choose from, none of which require hours of research that the other competing sites have. Start with a simple 2-2 or go for the highest payouts of 100 times and higher by selecting an 8-8 more or less contest. Get started today with a 100% instant match up to $100. That's right, $100. They're giving you $100 with our promo code HOLYCOW, all one word. Get on it. Monkey Knife Fight. Go to their website, monkeyknifefight.com. Download the app, iOS or whatever, Apple Store, Google Play Store, whatever it is. But let's get into the exciting stuff.
Yes, let's. I love this stuff.
They came home.
I love it.
They came home to play the Redbirds for the first of a full capacity crowd at Wrigley Field for the year.
Yes.
100%. It was opening day 2.0. They had Bill Murray out. Bill Murray was, singing his heart out during taking out the ball game. It felt like Wrigley Field 2016 again. It was sunny. It was a nice summer day.
Yes, it was great. So more on that. Let's talk Cubs tradition, shall we?
Cubs tradition.
Did you know that the beer snake is a Cubs tradition?
I did actually.
Okay, I didn't. I didn't know it was considered a tradition, but you learn something new every day. So, if you haven't heard about the Cubs fans beer snake, you're living under a rock and you've got to look it up. So, this beer snake that was formed, by the way, it was from the top of the center field section and it reached all the way down to the top of the lower section at center field. So it was very big. Actually, they're saying it's a world record beer snake now. And it generated approximately $43,000 in revenue, which is great because Cubs owners have been bitching for 18 months about finances.
Yeah.
So there you go. But it's funny because this is the weekend that the ownership decided, you know what, we'll allow the beer snakes. We'll allow full capacity. You know, we're not going to mention the COVID crap to this weekend. And look what happened.
Yep.
Revenue, good fans, great publicity. I mean, you got people that have never even watched a Cubs game going, oh yeah, I like those fans.
40, you said 43,000?
43,000 estimate, between 30 and 43,000. And what's great about that snake, it wasn't the only one. It was just the largest. There was way more snakes in the crowds. I'm going to challenge the Cubs fans to go horizontally around maybe next time. That would be
I want to see a $50,000 beer snake.
Right? But I want to drink a beer every time it goes $10,000.
Yes. So you could have 5 beers.
A big one, like a big beer.
Right. Well, I know last night when I was watching, because for some reason, the people who run Fox Sports and Fox Network, normally I love you guys. But let me tell you something. Nobody in the state of Oklahoma or in this area wants to watch the Houston Astros. Okay?
No.
You don't want to watch it. So Saturday, I didn't get to watch the game.
I would have been mad.
Yeah.
I had a friend, a very long-time friend, who is a huge Astros fan, always has been. It's the only thing we disagree on. The only thing, and I'm sorry if you love the Astros, it's just not for me. It's not for this show. Sorry.
Guys, look at a map. When you make this shit, look at a map. If we are at the very top of a state that borders a state with another team, we will probably want to watch more of that than down there by the Gulf of Mexico.
I actually just saw a map on Facebook of the different broadcasting ranges for specific MLB games, and it's atrocious.
The city or the state of Oklahoma is screwed when it comes to MLB TV.
It's ridiculous.
Because you get all of your KC Royals games are blacked out, so I can't even watch Greg. I can't. None of the Cardinals games, none of the Rangers games, and none of the Astros games.
No.
Luckily, you know, the Cubs, typically the Cubs-Cardinals games will get a lot of play, as they should, and they did, except for Fox dropped the ball, and I was supposed to watch the Minnesota Twins play the Houston Astros. Instead, I found a Rob Zombie concert on Amazon Prime and watched that instead. And kept up with it with some Pat Hughes in the background. Pat Hughes and Rob Zombie was an odd combination. I don't think I'll do that one again. It just felt really weird.
Well, on that note, back to tradition with my notes. Like, I came prepared. Like, I have a whole notebook sitting in my lap, people. So, yeah.
Make it up.
So, if you guys paid really close attention to other traditions at Wrigley Stadium, Pink Hat Guy showed back up. Pink Hat Guy. So I wanted to know more about Pink Hat Guy, and so I started digging. And I found an interview with WGN TV that he did prior to his reappearance on Friday. So a little bit about Pink Hat Guy. So his name is Jim Annixter. I don't know if I'm butchering that or not, but Annixter, and he's been to every opening day game from 1967 through 2019. And the only reason it stopped then, which there's speculations that he passed away, that, you know, he was just gone from wherever, he disappeared. He was a wizard or something. Who knows what everybody thought. But he actually told the story. So I'm just going to read it Ignore anything else that comes out of me besides pink hat information. So after one of the games in May of 2019, he was walking back to his car with his wife, and apparently another person walking beside him looked over his wife and said, "I think your husband's having a heart attack," or something to that nature. He said he had chest pain, and sure enough, he went to the hospital. One of his arteries or something in his heart was 99.5% clogged. 2 stints later, a 76th birthday, a pandemic, and a lung infection, he's finally back. And he's back only because his doctors finally said, okay, it's safe. It's safe. You can go back. Go have fun at the Cubs Stadium. Which brings me to my other point about the pandemic. Big news today specifically on Rizzo and Hayward not being the only 2 players that are not vaccinated.
Yep.
There's people freaking out about it. I have kind of a different opinion on it, probably than most people. Okay, well, for one, Hayward wanted to point it back at the fans from management. He wanted to say, well, you're worried about us 2 players here, which I totally agree with. You're worried about us, but then you pack the stands at 100% capacity. No one's wearing masks. Everyone's sharing beer cups. You know, you're making David Ross wear a mask, for crying out loud, to where he just gets sick of it and ditches it.
Right.
And, you know, you want to make a fuss about 2 people not being vaccinated on the team because it was below the 85% threshold or whatever it was for, whatever that stuff is. Anyway, so I do agree on that front. However, Hayward not being vaccinated should not be the leading story. Hayward not performing and being trash should be the story.
Maybe they could use this as trade. You know, maybe this can be like, hey, if you're not going to do it, we're going to DFA you.
Listen, like, I have some notes here that are not nice, but I said Hayward for not having much of a performance and after his injury is awfully unconcerned about what people think about him, and it's probably because he's not freaking popular, people. That's why he doesn't care what people's opinions are. He's not popular.
No, Jason Hayward is a hanger-on to what was the best Cubs team of all time. You know, he was part of the 2016. I get it. Jason Hayward's great. Jason Hayward now is not great.
No. Since his injury, he's trash.
Yes.
And let me see. Turning it back on the fans, that's okay. But it's also in poor taste, I think. Like, I mean, right now, look at where you are as a team. And you want to start ruffling feathers with that stuff? Like, oh, well, management this, management that. Dude, just sit down and shut up. Like, we got a good thing going. We don't need to be ruffling any feathers with anything. And I don't know if any of you guys are superstitious or not, but for me, I'm a superstitious athlete. Like, I'll wear the same socks if that's what it takes to win. Like, I don't care. Sorry, my little ones in the background if you just hear crunching M&Ms. But superstition-wise, I'm not sure if it was Pink Hat Guy coming back, if it was the amazing beer snake, if it was the City Connect uniforms, all the COVID restrictions being lifted.
People are getting back to it.
Yeah, David Ross actually said, well, the only reason I didn't wear a mask was because it wouldn't match the uniform.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what it was or what's in the air, but I want to keep it the same. So Hayward just needs to so we can get through it.
Back to Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward, out of the last 30 games, a 151 batting average. Out of the last 15 games, a 149, and out of the last 7, a 91. A 91 batting average. I don't think he will be around to see the end of this season. I know they're using the platoon thing. They're still getting over the injuries and everything like that.
Yeah.
Let me talk about a new tradition that I like. That is Patrick Wisdom hitting dingers all day long. One of the fastest people to get to, was 8 home runs in his when he came up. I mean, he's just lights out. He was kind of one of those late bloomers. Had some stints with some different teams. Kind of bounced around here and there. Played for the Cardinals, the Rangers. Went to the Mariners. Mariners DFA'd him, and that's how the Cubs got him. And now he's just lights out. If he hits a ball in the air, it's going out. Showed off during the last game of the Cardinals series that he has an arm, that he is there for real. He is a big-time ball player. I love Patrick Wisdom. I think that should be a new Cub tradition. I can't wait to see what Obvious Shirts does with a nice Patrick Wisdom shirt, because I've seen some quotes coming out. I'll have to check and see if there's anything going on. But until then, thanks, Joe, at Obvious Shirts. Go to Obvious Shirts. You can pick up the Holy Cow shirt. Holy Cow 5 gets you $5 off. It's obviousshirts.com. They also had the big one for the ALS during Lou Gehrig Day, and raised a whole bunch of money. He started out giving a portion of the proceeds, and then in the middle of the game, texts Boog Shambi and says, "Hey, I'm giving 100% to the ALS fight."
That's awesome. One tradition I don't want to see go on is the tradition of Rizzo hitting 14 foul balls in a row to give everybody heart attacks.
Hey,
I don't want that to happen.
But Rizzo says that's the best at bat of his career.
Really? I didn't see that.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
I mean, he had 2 strikes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He stayed alive.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
With the tradition thing, going back to Pink Hat Guy, he might have said something about the Cubs that could be foretelling for their future. I don't know. I got a weird vibe about Pink Hat Guy maybe being, psychic or something. I'm going to read you what he said at the end of this interview. Pink Hat Guy, Jim, says, in a perfect world, this year the Cubs will play the White Sox in the World Series. And in Game 7, the Cubs are the home team and losing by 3 with 2 outs in the 9th. And Javi Baez hits a grand slam and the Cubs win the World Series. I can always dream for these things, right? Listen, if that happens, whoo, Pink Hat Guy, I want that. But speaking of Baez, he's questionable. Is he in the lineup tonight?
Baez was not in the lineup, but it looked like he might be getting ready to go in and pinch hit.
Okay.
I think it was kind of giving him some time off to rest, just knowing that it's a long season and where we're at on it. I will say, though, if Pink Hat Guy is correct on his prediction, it will be a really, really bloody time in Chicago. If the fights stay up the way that they have, it's the White Sox home.
It's going to be a city divided, that's for sure, and I would love to be there.
Yes, it will. I mean, the Chicago White Trash have been nothing but short of a Jerry Springer show out in the outfield. There's actually been more entertainment in the stands than there has been on the field. It's been great. We started off with the fight going on in Colorado with San Diego, where the dude just walks over like, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it," and he just clocks him. And then ever since then, we've got girls getting involved. We've got dudes getting involved. We've got dudes bouncing back and forth between fights. Most of all of this happening in Chicago.
Listen.
On the south side.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. But if you mess with my team or my babies, I don't care. Like,
I don't even think they were messing with the teams because they don't seem to be White Sox fans.
But see, I can't have anything interrupt my game. I can't even sit down during my 5-year-old soccer game. It's bad.
I just don't know. I think it really comes down to the fact that it's just the south side of Chicago. That's how they roll. That's what they're going to do.
Southpaw. They're southpawing it.
Yeah, and I mean, they are – it doesn't – like, it's – you don't see these, like, people with, opposing team jerseys or shirts on. You just see two fat guys rip each other's clothes off. It's my dad actually thought I went to Chicago because there was a dude that was chubby with a beard that got into a fight, and my dad's like, "What were you doing?" I was like, "I'm at home. I'm not doing anything." I'm like, "There's a guy on here."
I got a great PR stunt for us. Let's go if it's the White Sox and the Cubs. We'll blow up a kiddie pool in the stands. We'll throw some Jell-O packets in it, mix it with some beer, and we'll have a fight right there.
Yeah,
I'll fight
I'm
you.
good with it. We should do it.
Okay, let's do it.
But let's look at some other happy things too. Like I was saying, the Cardinals come to town and they get swept. It was a magical time. They won all three of their games, 8-5, 7-2, and 2-0. And they're showing why they're thing.
Yeah, the Cubs are 11 games above the .500 after an 11-15 start.
Yes.
And Rizzo also had his 30th RBI during the ending of that sweep game.
Yes.
So good news as well.
They are on fire. I saw where Chris Bryant was talking about, let's just enjoy it. Don't break up the band. Don't tear things apart. It's been great. So right now we're in the middle of a 4-game stretch in New York City. We're coming back to Wrigley to play Miami, and then it's in Cleveland, and then it's back out to the West Coast again to see the Dodgers for, I believe, a 4-game set as well. It's going to be a busy, 4 games, and then it's 3 games in Milwaukee, 3 games in Cincinnati, and then they'll be back for another nice little stretch right before the All-Star break. We'll be at home with Philadelphia for 4 games and 3 games against St. Louis. So it's shaping up to be a great summer.
Yes. You know, one thing I love about the Cubs is the silliness and the quirkiness that they all have with each other and with the fans. I love that about them. And they're still competitive in nature. So, funny enough, Jock Peterson was in San Diego handing out souvenirs. And I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but the Cubs came out with a fake TV ad way back.
Yeah.
And it was about souvenirs, a souvenir company. Well, they're not allowed to really sign autographs right now. So his way of batting that in San Diego was to hand out baseballs with his signature on them to fans just randomly that were wearing Cubs jerseys or gear or hats or whatever. Right. How cool is that? Sorry, baby's got a boo-boo.
Oh no.
You're okay. Dad's working late, so we got company tonight.
Uh-oh. I didn't put my backdrop up. I'm just chilling at home. Got the vacation starting up today.
I mean, I got like water back here, like some lotion, like some random pillows, like, and then I got my monkey, youngest one, all over me. So it is what it is.
There you are. And it's kind of a short show. It's like we got through what we were doing. I mean, so I know that you were talking about, what was the deal with the Davies and the Cards?
Yes. Okay. So, thank you, son. Davies. So, Zach Davies only allowed 2 hits or less the last 3 of 4 starts, and 0 runs in the last 2 starts.
And he went deep into the game. This was the deepest he's gone.
Right. Yeah, it was his. He struck out a season high 6 batters.
Yes.
And it was his 4th win Sunday night as well.
Yes.
So speaking of
he's coming into shape.
Yeah, I mean, I consider him fairly new still.
Yeah, he is. He's fairly new. I mean, he definitely doesn't have the pedigree as several of the other pitchers. My concern now is definitely after watching this Mets outing with Arrieta is what is going on with Arrieta, because even at the beginning of the season when things weren't looking so great, Arrieta you could kind of count on to come in and give you a win, and it just seems like that has kind of gone down. So we're at kind of the end of our show. So Monkey Knife Fight would love for us to talk about some not really odds or stat lines, but maybe some predictions on what we can do, maybe help our friends out. So we've got 4 games here with the Mets. Where are we going with are we going to win the series?
Oh man.
This is a series you can split because it's 4 games.
I mean, I kind of feel like we might split it. I think we'll win at least 1.
Okay. See, I was going to say we were going to split, go 2-2. That would bring the complete series total to 6-2 if they can do that. Yeah. Then they come back to Wrigley Field for 4 games, or 5 games rather. Sorry, 3 games with Miami. I think they're going to win that.
Oh yeah.
And then I think they're going to.
I I know where you're going with this.
I think they're going to sweep Cleveland in this one and bring the series to 500.
Really?
Yes. Because they lost the first two in Cleveland. I think they're going to win the two in Wrigley. So I think they're going to split New York, win Miami, and take Cleveland.
Oh, man, I don't know. I get too nervous. I feel like I'm going to jinx it.
You can't jinx it.
Well, they're doing really well.
I know.
I don't want to try anything.
So you think they're going to split? You think they're going to split the Mets?
I do. I think, man, I don't know. I can see it going both ways. I can see them winning one. I can see them splitting. Or I can see them going three because they're just on a good streak right now.
Yes.
But I do think they'll lose at least one.
Okay. So are you going split or win?
I'm going to win with three, I think.
You're
I'm
gonna
going
win
to be
with three.
positive. I'm never positive. I'm going to be positive.
All right. Three games against Miami. They're going to sweep, win,
They're gonna
or
sweep.
lose.
They're going to sweep.
And Cleveland, are they going to sweep, lose, or split?
Hell, I don't know. Probably split. I'll go
Three.
split.
I'm going to say split. If they split, they'll lose the season series with them. I can see, and I think they're going to split the season series with them. I think they're going to win this one.
We'll see.
So there you go. Guys, it's a short, abbreviated week. Hopefully next week we have all three of us back.
Hopefully.
Be a great thing to see. If not, we'll have some other things. Make sure you check her out at Okie Sports Junkie. It's Lacey Stout. Also be looking on the lookout for cold beers and curveballs with her as well.
Yes.
Guys, hope for the best.
Listen, we love doing the show, but the Cubs are playing. We got to go. That's what this is. We got to go.
All right, guys. Until next time, go Cubs, go.
Bye.